And the third vision example is actually it was 10x. So it's a very, very short vision, but you can see here it's result oriented vision, vision of growth, vision of becoming bigger, of expanding. And that's also a representation of the team that we had. So you feel they're all unique, they're all really different, and you will have to understand what is the uniqueness of your team. And it's something that will help your team to stay unique and to stay authentic. Next part of lead experience is driving values. So you see, we discussed a lot AIESEC values. It's acting sustainably, striving for excellence, living diversity, enjoying participation, demonstrating integrity, and activating leadership. And you create your team values and drive them to the local committee. So sometimes you can expand AIESEC values and you can add values that you feel are important for your team or feel they're important for the local committee at this exact year, at this exact moment. But anyway, driving of values will depend and will start from you as the leader. So first you drive those values, then people remember and your team drive it to the local committee. So it goes through reminding, it goes through highlighting those values. So for example, person made something that you feel really aligns with values, and you just highlight, okay, I see that like for example, the person gave a decision or gave a solution that will help your local committee to grow on the long-term perspective. And you say, okay, it's really like a acting sustainably mindset. I really appreciate that. So you need to appreciate when people are sharing those values, when people are following them. But sometimes you can punish, like, of course, not like a bad punishment, but you can punish people when they are not aligned with values. Because in the start of your experience, you agree on following those values and you agree on meeting those values like as much as possible. So for example, demonstrating integrity, you see that the person promised something to you and the person didn't keep such promise, and you understand that it's not a behavior that is aligned with your value, demonstrating integrity, because it's not an integrity. Words and actions are not connected. So you highlight, okay, I think that the value of demonstrating integrity is not followed right now. Let's think what can we do like to that you will be able to follow it next times. So you're an ambassador of those values. It's your filter, it's your prism that you move with during your experience. Then, of course, to achieve results, to make a stable organization, you need to motivate your team and you're like, just do it, guys. Of course, it's something that doesn't work, that you just say, okay, do it, let's do it, just with some impression. Of course, it's not working like that. You have some steps to motivate your team, and actually there are 7 steps. So first, you share a big picture. We will talk about that, so I will not go deep in that. Then you understand personal motivation of people you work with. You understand why this exact person is in this exact team. And then you constantly remind, okay, okay guy or okay girl, you came here to boost your public speaking, so let's work on that. This experience will help you. Or you want to improve sales, okay, let's work with customers. That's how it works, and that's what motivates your people. Then you empower with trust. So you trust the person some higher responsibility, for example, than person expected. and the person feels okay, they trust me, they believe in me, and they start doing that. Because when you believe in them, they start believing in themselves. Then you celebrate milestones, because when it's a big goal, um, during the way or on the start, it can be really demotivating. So for example, you want to make 100 exchanges and you just made 5, like on the first month, and you feel like 5 months left, but we made just 5. And then you need to celebrate those 5. You need to understand why it happened, and you need to refresh people. Okay, we did this result, so let's just keep moving. It's good. You made it. It was not easy. You need to just respect your, I can say, your impact in this goal. Then you should reward people with feedback. So you need to use feedback from peers and clients. So it can be positive like feedback, and it can be sometimes feedback that improves work of your people. So of course, feedback is something that helps your people to understand themselves better. And when they see themselves wider or from another perspective, it's something that motivates them, because they feel okay, I will keep this experience, I will keep making more things, and I will understand myself better and better. Then you lead with energy. Of course, when you're like, okay, will we achieve that or not? Oh my god, I'm so doubting. Will we be able to make this local committee, or maybe it's a bad idea? Of course, people will be infected by your doubts. So lead with energy. People should see that you really enjoy, you're happy to be here, you're happy to achieve those goals. Then they feel okay, okay, nice. I'm happy to be here. And also, it should be the clear communication. Just no manipulations, no something like toxic environment. We came here to grow. So growth is not about some bad communication. So you just honest, clear, direct, and yeah, you don't have something hidden in your communication. It's really important for the person not to have additional stress just because of the communication. So that's the second part, the next part. Then it's setting direction. I remember you've mentioned it when I was asking what is lead. So it's setting direction. And in AIESEC, we have our roadmaps for each 5 years. And then, like, we will have our roadmap for 2030. And here you have the same. Of course, your experience is limited, so you just have 1 year to do something, and your goal should be realistic and ambitious at the same time. So, of course, you understand that we're just building local committee, and what is real to do in this 1 year, and you see, and that's the direction that you set. So of course you will not expect like earning billions during your first year of your startup. So of course you need to understand where you move to. And of course the long term direction of AIESEC is peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. So we already made this 70-year way, but of course we are still moving to that. But it should have milestones. So your direction is the milestone of growth and development of your local committee and the organization in general. For aligning expectations, I just added here, it's also the part of lead. I added here the expectations that we usually discuss in the start of our each academy series. So I will not read them. So it's just an example, but it's important to understand what you expect from your team and what your team expects from you. And when you clearly understand what this person wants from you and they understand what do you want from them, it makes your experience so easier. So align expectations, it's important. It's also about leading your team. And the last part is asking right questions, because sometimes people ask really empty questions, or they ask something that they don't need to have answer to. And questions, it's important to understand that the question is your instrument to grow. It's your instrument to understand your people. It should have a goal. And when you keep that in mind, you grow your organization, you grow your LC in a like wise way. So I just wrote here 3 statements that you should follow about this asking right questions. And also a quote from Albert Einstein. So, if I had an hour to solve a problem and my life depended on it, I would use the first 55 minutes determining the problem, like the proper question to ask. And I think that's the best explanation of asking right questions. But anyway, 3 statements. First is questions have goals and intentions. All questions. So when you're asking question, you should have a goal and intention. Questions should not be obvious. So if you already know the answer, you don't need to repeat the question. If you know the answer, if you want to clarify something, clarify it, but clarify the part you didn't understand. Then questions are aligned with current mood and state, because sometimes people ask, for example, questions when the mood is like really not connected. So you need to feel your team, and before asking something that can be pushy, for example, you have to ask, are you ready for a question, or something like that. It will like make the vibe and the atmosphere better while you're asking those questions. So that's about lead. Do you have any questions that you'd like to discuss, or was everything clear for you? So I'm ready to allocate a few minutes for Q&A part. Yes, Imran.
Okay, thank you. I don't really have question per se, but then just wonderful perspectives on leadership right there. You've explained so well. I think I really love the way you categorize leading people, going for goals in terms of maybe an institution or maybe an organization, and then motivation and everything, because I think all those elements go into leading as well. So if you miss one, then you wonder where you went wrong. But then if you have to like look at all that, so I enjoyed the presentation. I loved how you categorize stuff, looked at how you can ask questions, how you can make everyone be a part of the team. So yeah, thank you for that.
Oh, thank you so much, Imran. Thank you. I really appreciate your comment. Teresa, which slide you want to see?
The presentation.
You mean the presentation in general?
Presentation in general? Yes.
I will send it after.
I will send it after. Okay.
All right, guys. Any other additional questions or comments?